Okay, this is just a quick video to show the different ways of setting up flaps. I'm using a couple of servos that I've picked up today for my build. You can see I've got a Y lead there and I've got a 6-channel receiver. It just happens to be an orange one, but it's basically the same as the receivers that would come supplied with a Spektrum Dx6i. So this is what happens if you've got two servos set up on a Y lead. This is what would happen if you were using servos as ailerons. Put little red elastic bands on the arms so you can see which arm is which. But you could see what happens is one aileron would go down and one aileron would go up, which is exactly what you want for ailerons. The way of doing flaps with a Y lead is simply to turn one of the servos round like that. And in that configuration, I'm struggle to get it to stand up, but in that configuration, obviously both servo arms are going to go in the same direction, which means that your flaps are going to operate by going in the same direction, which is what you want. However, if your aeroplane's not been set up like that, there is a way around it that involves not using a Y lead, but that uses the spare channel on the receiver. If your aeroplane's not got retracts, you do have that spare retract channel that you can use, and you can do some mixing on a Dx6i, which enables you to get the flaps to operate in the same way. So if I just unplug here, and then I'm going to plug, so basically the Y lead now is just behaving like an extension lead because I've only got one servo plugged into it, and then on the thing, it's a bit fiddly trying to do this with my phone and my hand at the same time. I'm going to plug the servo into what is the gear channel. So now I've got two servos side by side, set up the same way as they would be in a wing, and when I operate them using the flaps, they both go in the same direction. Okay, so how have I managed to achieve that? Well, what I've done, just to show you the screen on here, this is my Dx6i. If I click on the setup button and I go down into flaps, I just set up a set of standard flap settings. It just happens that I've gone 50 up and 50 down, but that's how you would enable flaps anyway. So that's pretty standard for using flaps. But the other thing that I've done is I've enabled a mix. So here's mix 1. And what I've basically done is I've copied everything from the flap channel into the gear channel, and it's turned on. That's what ACT means. And I want 100% of the movement each way on the flap channel copied into the gear channel. So that's why I've got plus 100%, plus 100% on both of those settings. The switch is set to on. That means that the switches on the transmitter don't actually affect that mix, and the trim is inhibited. Now what that means is that the movement in the flap channel is then copied to the gear channel, which means you've basically got two flap servos both connected with extension leads to the receiver, and they should operate in the same way. It is theoretically possible to set up the second mix, perhaps we'll try that quickly now while the camera's running, to give you a varying rate on your flaps. So if I go back into my mixes, I'm going to set up another mix. I'll turn it on, switch it to ACT, and I'm going to again put 100.